Hey y'all, I am Lady Ray Taylor, the creator of A Poet Scene, and today we are going to learn a little more about an artist named D.L Mack. Let's go. All right. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you as well.
How's your life today?
It's been pretty good. Um, kind of slow day, work and then just kind of relax today. Was excited about the interview though.
Yeah, likewise. Same thing. I didn't have a slow day. I had a okay. Welcome back. I don't know what just happened. I'm not sure. So how should I address you?
You can address me as D.L Mack.
D.L Mack?
hmm
Okay, all right. Well, nice to meet you, D.L Mack. Where are you from?
I'm from I'm from Charleston. That's what you say when you're not from this town, but I'm from a little small town called Adams Run. Um, it's like in the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right. Got you. Got you. Hey, and I'm from Pittsburgh. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
If I have. It's been a long time since I've been, just traveling through. Never actually got to actually enjoy the city, but I've been
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So how long have you been writing?
I've been writing since 2008. So I've been writing for about almost like over 10 years now.
Uh-huh. And how did you get into your zone? Like what put you in that place to start getting artistic?
I listen to sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes it's spur of the moment kind of thing, how I feel. But I love to listen to hip hop when I write.
You
So
listen to hip hop while you're writing?
yeah,
So you prefer to speak to a beat or to instrument, or does it really?
no, no. I just like to write to the music because it inspires me because I'm very inspired by hip hop and hip hop culture. So it's like that kind of gets me in the zone to really write and to really express myself. Sometimes I can hear the song and it may give me the urge to write. Or if a person's really like spitting the hot 16 or something like that, it's like okay,
Yeah.
I really gotta go hard now. You know. And I kind of always approach my poetry that way because I started. I wanted to rap before I started writing poetry. So it's like
Okay.
so I always approach everything from a hip hop mindset. From like whether if I decide to like freestyle one of my poems, like like on stage, I'll do that. Or if I'm writing, I'm writing trying to come up with the dopest metaphor or the hardest line I can think of.
Yeah.
Like ooh, that's really gonna get them. Or I'll even throw a subliminal in there about a situation. And I love to do that. Like I'll throw subliminals in there that no one will get, but I know, okay, like it may be about somebody or about a situation, but the person hearing it may never know that, you
Okay.
know. But I just like throwing little nuggets in there, so if they do get it, it's like, okay, cool, you got where I was coming from,
Right.
you know.
Right. So who's your top couple of artists that you like to listen to while you're getting in that creative process?
I like to listen to artists by the name of Gazelle. I like to listen to Kanye West. I like to listen to another artist by the name of Raes. Those artists really get me into the zone from what things they talk about because they talk about similar situations, like from like whether it be shoes or women or just your faith, and those are the things I mainly write about in just situations. But sometimes hearing those lines from them is like, okay, you hear a dope line from an artist, like, man, I want to go write something dope too. So
Mm-hmm. Wait, who was the first one you said?
it was Aha Gazelle,
Okay, I don't think I've heard of that one. That yeah, that's a male or is that a woman?
a male artist. He's out of Louisiana.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
You have to send me a link to something so I can hear it. I'm not familiar with them.
I'll do that most definitely.
Yeah, okay, so you mentioned shoes. You said sometimes they rap about shoes. So that's I seen something you had on Facebook about writing an ode about shoes.
Yeah. So that was my ode to a pair of J's. I actually hate Jordans. Like I like a couple of them, but for the most part, I always hated Jordans. And you hear a lot of the negative stereotypes about Jordans, like people, killing each other over Jordans,
Yeah.
or just like teasing people because you don't have the hottest Jordans and things like that. And it's like everybody wore those shoes going to school, like, and I've always wanted to be different. So I like me personally, I would go out my way to find like a dope pair of shoes that weren't Jordans because I didn't want to necessarily fit in, with the
Mm,
crowd and wear whatever else I'm wearing. So that inspired me to make that poem. Like, let me make an ode to, Jordan, ask like the pair of shoes a couple of questions. Like, okay, why, do you realize how many bloodstained floors you walked on? Do you realize you're gonna be replaced by the next pair? You know, or the only time people get fly in shoes is when they're getting knocked out of them, things like
yeah.
that. So I just trying to find unique perspectives, that tell my story or my perspective on the world. And I know somebody else has that same perspective, or they may look at they may look at those shoes a little differently, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Now you introduced me to something new because I wasn't familiar with calling certain pieces of writing odes. I write, but I just write, and if I happen to make it something that not lyrical, but if I happen to make it sound a little songy, that's just
Mm-hmm.
what it is to me. But I until I seen that, I was like, oh, okay. I never broke down the different types of pieces that I write. I just write,
Mm-hmm.
put things together.
Yeah, 'cause that's like more of an older style of poetry that's not really used today. Like it's like when you write about how much you love something, that's usually an ode. So it's like my ode to my cat, or my ode to my dog, or it's a poem centered around something that you love. But I want to flip it a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
So it'll draw you in, like, what's an ode? Because no one really uses that terminology before. So
that's cool. I appreciate you for that because I like to learn new stuff. That's why
yeah.
I like to talk to different people. Like I enjoy this and I like to talk to people that I don't know because I
Hmm.
get to learn something new and I get to learn a
Yeah.
lot more about you. That's cool.
Hmm.
All right, so I want to share my with you, and it's also about shoes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It was meant to be kind of funny, but it is the truth. And all the ladies that have all these hills and we got to walk
Hmm.
on these hills and and manage like that. This is a shout out to
Hmm.
you all. It's called Oh Shoe. Oh shoes, you give me the blues. You sit on the shelf looking so cute, being me. I can't pass by, especially when you are sitting there in my size. My eyes light up. I must try you on. And as I walk up and down the aisle, I am imagining what I should wear with you. A t-shirt, some jeans, or should I dress you up a little more than that? You're such a fancy shoe. Before I leave the store with you, I made plans because you, oh shoot, and I have to go out to dance. When I get home, I am so excited to get dressed. Then I slide you on and I feel I have done my very best. By choosing you, oh shoot, the first hour I loved you, oh shoot. Then after a few songs, I was reminded of the size of your heel. You are a stiletto, so I must take a rest because I look my best, but my feet are sore. Your beauty was a distraction, and I cannot wait to get you off of my feet. But I must admit, I am glad we met. Now, on this shelf at home, you go with the rest of my only wear once collection. Oh, shoot.
Oh, that was dope. I like that. I like it.
Thank
It's
you.
different.
Thank you. And that's what typically happens. We get a really cute pair of shoes and we wear them like one time, literally.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's my tribute to an ode, I guess. Tell me something interesting about you, like a fun fact per se.
Let's see here. I'm a huge Kanye West fan. I live and die like that. I remember, like, in high school, I used to talk about Kanye so much that they would call me Kanye East because, like, being down south, because I wasn't raised in Charleston, being a military brat. So being down south and, getting to know people down here, like they were big in the Gucci Man at the time, like 2009, 2010. So I would be like, oh yeah, Kanye is better than Gucci Man all the time. Like that's all I would do in high school. And, I always want to rap and things like that. So it's like, he's like my biggest inspiration because he's always so creative. He try to do whatever he wants to do. I may do poetry, but I also, like I've done photography and dabbled in writing scripts and also written, a book. I've done a documentary. I've done so many things, and I don't ever want to be boxed in as one thing. I'm a poet at heart. I always want to try something different. Even though the world may never see it, it's like I just want to try it. To say I've done it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm gonna ask you about that book in a second, but I'm gonna ask you this first. What in particular do you feel is important for people to get out of your work?
Just to know, like, when you hear my work and hear the different subject matter that I talk about, that you're not alone. That, somebody else is going through the same thing. And just to hear my work and, and to be able to be like, relate to it. That's one of the biggest things, that for it to be relatable, or, for someone to learn from it, or for someone to, I'm trying to think of the word right now, but for someone to like hear my work and be changed by it, or, have a different perspective on life.
Yeah, you could be someone else's inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the name of your book?
My book's called Black. I wrote the book about 2 years ago now, almost 2 years, and I actually shot the cover myself.
Oh, okay.
So this is actually a photo I took of my friend.
Hold it up a little bit more. I want to see. Okay, I can see.
And you can get that on Amazon. And the book is mainly about like my struggles with women, the struggles that the Black community faces, and then my struggles with God, and how that plays into my poetry and things of that nature. So, like all the dark things that we like to ignore, like the struggles and the things that we go through, we like to ignore them. So those are all touched on in the book, like from depression and just from even hating your own skin, like not realizing you hate your own skin, but then going in situations and realizing that you hate the skin that you're in, or you may feel embarrassed because of who you are. Like I remember is a poem I talked about in the book where I was on a job where me and my friend, this white guy I was talking to, we were just joking around, and we were like, oh yeah, it's hard to be Black, this, that, and third. He's like, yeah, I know it's real hard to be Black. And the lady jumps in, not knowing what we're really talking about, where this joke is. She jumps in, like, she's like, oh yeah, I think I could be like a Black woman. I wear it well, or whatever. Like talking about her body, and I didn't know what to say. It's like I wanted to get offended, but at the time I was so shocked that she said something, and it made me feel some type of way. I wasn't really angry, but it's like I felt like there was a juxtaposition of anger and then like embarrassment, because it's like I was like, my skin color is being made a joke of, So it's like at that time I'm not proud to be who I am, because I'm embarrassed, and then I didn't immediately say anything, so I felt some type of way about that. But I was so shocked that I couldn't say anything. So,
but that's okay that you didn't say anything, because honestly, every action does not require a reaction, because a lot of times they want a reaction, and if you give it to them, then you look like the crazy man and all of that stuff. So there's nothing wrong with not having a reaction to that.
But naturally we feel like we have to speak up for everything. That's how we naturally feel, as a culture, that we have to speak up for everything. We don't really.
Yeah. Believe me, we deal with it. We deal with it too. And I don't react to a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I just choose to ignore. I just choose to bypass it, because you're just talking. I don't need to jump in at everything. And then I choose not to deal with it in that type of way. There's been times where, you get a reaction out of me, but Now it takes a lot to get a reaction out of me.
Yeah, same here.
I let people soak in their own ignorance, you know.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do sometimes.
Yeah, because she probably thought about that later, like that was stupid for me to say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she probably thought about it and just yeah. So, who's your favorite poet?
My favorite poet, I have a couple. Steve Willis is an amazing poet. The way he emotes himself, amazing. Then you have Jasmine Mans. And then there's also one that you may not know of, Black Chakra. He was actually a battle rapper turned poet.
Okay.
Amazing. And then I have some local poets that I find really amazing too. His name is Native Words. Then there's Georgia Nubia. Amazing poet. Amazing poet.
You say Georgia Nubian?
Yeah, Georgia Nubia.
Okay. Okay. And what is it like out there, the poet scene out there? Y'all have a lot of events going on? Do y'all show a lot of love and support?
Now I've actually shied away from the poetry scene. Like I've really just been on YouTube and doing my own thing. But there has before COVID, a lot of events always going on every week. A lot of events going on. But it's like for me personally, like I got to a place where creatively I was always looking for someone to latch on to. You know how you always want to work with somebody or latch on to what somebody else is doing. And then it was like I would try to reach out, or people would reach out to me saying, "Oh, let's work, let's do this," but nothing would happen. Or I'll be like, "Hey, can I get some advice on this?" And no one, like my main circle would not, they would be busy or whatever. And so that's what made me make my own platform and just go on YouTube and put out as much content as possible. So it's like I've kind of shot away from my city a little bit because I noticed myself was getting stifled by wanting to latch on to someone else or get that cosign from someone else in order to get on, so to say.
Yeah, like you looking for that validation
Mm-hmm.
other than within yourself. Like you have all the
Yeah.
in yourself right there. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And speaking of YouTube, I like the concept of you doing a therapy session. I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember the name of it. I didn't write it down, but I watched it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was a freestyle I decided to do called Self Reflection. I actually did one a year prior to that, like around my birthday, and I was like, let me just do it again. Let me try to see if I can do it again and do something good. Um, and so I was like, I just freestyled about what was going on that year. That like everything that may have bothered me that whole year, I freestyle about it, and a poem will come out of it, and then I'll upload it. So I think that's what I'm gonna keep doing every year around my birthday is freestyle. What's going on in my mind during that time around my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of interesting, like with the poetry scene. Like I actually, for my book, when my book came out, like a couple months later, like in February, I decided to do a poetry event, for the launch of my book, and nobody showed up. The only people that showed up was the artists that were supposed to perform. No one else showed up but my family, and it was like that. And it was like just before COVID. It was an eye-opening thing. It's like, okay, yes, I realize I can put on this event, but it's like not everybody's gonna come to your event just because they know you. So it's like it just showed me like, okay, at the end of the day, yeah, your family may be there for you, and your friends may say they're there for you. But as far as when it comes to being an artist, it's like people only support people they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned. That's one of the hardest things about being an artist. People support people they don't know, which is crazy, but that's how it is. People that don't know you go harder for you than the people that you grew up with your whole life. So it's like I've learned so much from the poetry scene that I'm in. That's why I was like, let me make my own stage, because there's actually a poem on my YouTube channel about my feelings about the stage. Because I was going through like a depression early, like around like March, February that time, and like I said, I was reaching out to people, no one was reaching back. And like I was asking my friends for advice about poetry. They're not all of them are really poets, but asking my friends for advice, no one was reaching back. And it was like I was in this creative depression. Like not only the stuff around, like I know when I'm not creative or things aren't happening the way I want them to, it affects my creativity, which also affects how I feel about everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think for me, it's like I realized I put a lot of my identity in, you know, being a poet. So it's like, okay, if you put all your identity in it, and instead of putting your identity and just learning to love yourself and things like that, I get stifled creatively and things like that, which leads to depression. So when I realized that, okay, if I'm waiting for somebody to you know to guide me in this, I'll never get anywhere. So I'm gonna just make my own stage, use YouTube as a platform to put out poetry the way I want to put it out and things I want to do. Somebody's gonna listen. Somebody's gonna follow me, and it's like I've been doing it every week now. Like I've been doing a lot of research, so I noticed like I look at other post channels and I'm like, you only put out a video at like every couple months or once a year or something like that. I want to put out every week, like how a normal YouTuber would do it and see what happens. And I've been getting a lot of growth since what May, because I started doing this in May, so I've been getting a lot of growth since May. I've gotten over 60 subscribers now, maybe something small, but I've noticed the growth. People they may not always comment on the video, but they may comment to me directly and tell me how they feel, or like, oh, that really changed their perspective on something. And that's what I'm really doing it for. I'm not doing it for popularity. I'm not doing it for the notoriety. And then there's also some poets that have come to me after seeing my videos, and they were like, okay, like how'd you do that, or what can I do to help me get myself out there, and I'll give them advice on it. And that's one thing I really want to do. I want to help other artists as well, not just make a platform for myself, but I also want to help springboard other people, so that they can reach their goals and their dreams and things of that nature.
I can relate to the events, having events and expecting people to show up, and then they don't show up, and but you still have to carry on. You still have to keep it moving, keep creating, and eventually people will come around. But if you stop, then you won't have you won't have nothing to give. So continue to do what you do.
Yeah.
How are you feeling as far as your depression? Are you okay now? You better?
I'm better. I'm in a way better space now. Just putting focus on other things, like also staying creative, and then also just trying to live life and not let what I think other people may feel about me or what I do affect me. And just put that energy into my son and into my family, and good.
Yep. That's how you have to be, because it's not easy trying to come out and be a poet, be an artist, and be noticed, be appreciated all the time. So we have to interact with each other a lot. I feel like I'm starting to do that more. I still write, but I'm not always in that space to write. I want to learn. That's why I created this platform, so I can start learning about other people and just seeing what everybody else's processes is and stuff like that. And when I feel like it, I'll get back to writing. I'm trying to like work on other things other than poetry books.
Yep.
Is your book a poetry book, or is it how?
It's a poetry book.
It is a poetry book.
It's a poetry book. It's just broken up into like sections. Like it's broken up into like 3 parts. So and that's like this is gonna be the first of many. I got several things in the works, just haven't finalized it yet. So because like the YouTube thing kind of created its own little monster. So that's been like my main focus. But I do have other books in the works. But yeah, this is one of my first poetry books. Hold on. This is one of my first poetry books. I'm gonna get this straight. So yeah, I'm just really excited.
When was it released?
It was released back in, I think, August of 2019.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've been trying to, I've been promoting it, but then it's like, okay, I realize I'm an unknown artist, so of course you're gonna promote to your friend, of course, first, and then after that, it's like, okay, now I want to work on building the audience and the tribe, because that's what I've been doing with the YouTube and talking to other poets and getting to know other people. So it's like that's what I've been building that way. Because I realized before I should have put this book out, I should have been working on building an audience, and then make it easier, to sell the book or to get the book out there. So I kind of did it backwards, but hey, that's what the next book is for. That's what the book after that is for. So it's like I'm gonna keep doing the book thing, and I do want to become a bestseller one day. And I know that's not easy for poetry, so but I'm gonna get it done. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this, like the platform that you have, that you're interviewing other poets, it's amazing, because there's no one out here doing that. I haven't seen anybody out here doing that, so it's amazing that you're doing that.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
See, and like you, at first I felt like, should I have waited until I had more people, like more followers and stuff like that? But
No,
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done it. I actually just had to say, you know what, I'm gonna try this and just do it, because I would have sat on the idea, and I would have been waiting, and especially if I would have started talking to people about it, like, oh, I think I'm gonna start doing this, and eventually I would have talked myself out of it.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing I've learned. You just do it, and then worry about the criticism or whatever you receive later. Like, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, and
eventually. Mm-hmm.
And like the lane is wide open for that. So I applaud you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to look at any of the other conversations?
I have. I looked at a couple. I'm gonna go back and probably look through some more. But I have looked at a couple, because I'm like, I really like what you're doing. Like, this is really cool that you're giving other artists a spotlight.
I appreciate that. Now you got to tell people to tune
Oh
in.
yes, most definitely. I will because I made some new poet friends. I'll tell them to tune in, and
tell them to get on. Tell them to just hit me up in my messenger or whatever, and we can set something up for sure.
Yeah. So, because I got some people in mind that I met that would be perfect for this. So I'm of course hit them up and let them know, hey.
Okay. So. I appreciate that, for real. Just send them
on. Oh, no problem. What are artists for?
Right, exactly. That's what I say. We gotta look out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
All the way from Pittsburgh to South Carolina. For sure. Now, would you travel to go to other poetry events, like, or be part of?
Yes, I would most definitely. I would. I just have to get that call, and I'll try to make something happen. If that was the case, like someone invited me out to Pittsburgh or something like that, I would gladly come out.
Oh, you could come to Pittsburgh. You can get on up here to Pittsburgh, because I got something coming up. I'll send you the information. If you want to come, pop on up.
Okay.
So definitely. And then now if you come up here to Pittsburgh, that means you're getting on the stage, right? You ain't just coming to sit down.
Oh no, definitely getting on the stage. Might even freestyle, because that's my thing. So I love to freestyle on stage. It may not transfer well over YouTube, I've noticed, but like I love to freestyle. As you can tell, I have a couple freestyles on YouTube. I love to freestyle. That's like my thing to do after my set is done, or whatever I'm gonna perform. And that's one thing I love. I love to be behind the mic. I'm not gonna hold anybody on that. That's one thing I love to do. It's the one place I feel home. Like, there's no judgment on that mic. It's just you and that mic.
Yep. So let me hear you spit something then. You gonna give us some work?
Okay. Give me a word or something, so I'm freestyle. Give me a word or a concept that's like not something basic.
All right, let me see. How about how about reflection?
Reflection. Okay. All right. I'm trying to check my perception. Open my eyes to things I never seen before, other than my reflection. I'm just trying to move past spaces and places to get where I need to be. Instead of staring at the man in the mirror that's next to me, I'm trying to get in front of my past, not stay behind it, looking forward to new destinations and journeys and places I've never been. Trying to change my mind frame, to change my mindset, to change things I never thought possible. Only beauty I see is the beauty in me once I get past the darkness that's surrounding me. This light that I stand in front of, the sun, the begotten one, the thing I find my hope and where my help comes from. The truth that I spit is the proof in the pudding. So I guess I gotta put this work in so I can stop looking at these reflections and see more that life has for me. Peace.
Peace. I like it. And that was right off the top.
Off the top.
I like it. I like it. I'm not a freestyler, so don't challenge me. But I'll be like, give me like 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
How long do you think what's the quickest time you ever written a poem? Like, how long has it taken you to write a poem? Like, normally?
The quickest one I've ever written probably is one called Go. Mm-hmm. That was probably the one that was really, really fast. And that's about when God says go. Like, basically about being obedient and what happens when you're not obedient. And it's just short.
Yeah.
It's really short and straight to the point. But I'll say Senses. I don't know if you've seen Senses. I'm actually having something done to that. So hopefully it's something that works that I really would like to come to fruition. But I don't know if you've seen that poem or not, but it's on YouTube.
No, I haven't. I gotta make sure I check that out. Send that to me.
Yeah, okay, I will. And that one, I gotta get my throat together. I'm sorry. That one is called Senses, and I wrote that throughout the day, but it's so good. It's like that one and Forgot to Forget. Now, Forgot to Forget is good. I haven't put that out publicly yet. I think I've recited it on Facebook. I've recited it at events, but I haven't made it a video yet. And that is good. I want to share some of that with you because I like that one.
Okay.
And I do read out of the book sometime because my nerves. Some stuff I remember, but
ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's still getting heard to the masses.
This one's kind of long, so I'm gonna just read like
a little snippet.
It's hard to read a snippet. It is. Okay, so I'm gonna do the second part of it.
Okay.
I was advised by an elder some time ago to be careful when you travel the roads going through Mississippi. My response, excuse me? Well, as you know, we have come a long way. There has been some minor changes in major ways, but the continuous acts and events of the past has carved the tainted image of the present, and those old demons continue to be reborn. They refuse to let it go. Hearing about it just isn't enough. They want to know what it feels like to hold that type of power. They wish they had the master credentials that their forefathers had over their dad's dad's dad. See, it's not that far removed. Sounds like a long time ago. A time when you had to carry the green book to travel these roads. Now it's all word of mouth. Listen, integrated schools were still having segregated proms until 2008. Anyone could attend the Black prom, but the white prom, you could only be white. If not, Don't dare try to step in. You'll mess around and be found lifeless, hanging off the rim in the gym without a ladder to climb. But the news reports that the autopsy reports it as a suicide. I know. Some of y'all are thinking, stop bringing up old shit, but I won't apologize. I forgot to forgive. Plus, Nina Simone says, how can you call yourself an artist and not reflect the times? And the time I'm living in seems to slowly try to rewind to the hatred of our history. The hostility of the horror and holdbacks ultimately hindered me. I'm not victimizing, nor am I asking for your sympathy, just your ear. I am mentally captured from years upon years upon years from the oppression of my existence. I was born free with a mastermind, but absorbing what society was feeding me. Born in America, land of the free, and far away from that damn silver spoon to eat my apple pie with. Society standards for me don't match my skill level, so I create guidelines for myself to define who I am because society, whomever he is, doesn't seem to know what's best for me. I know society wants silence, but with knowledge comes power, and you are accountable for the power invested in you. And knowing what you're accountable for makes it hard to sit still in silence. And just because I decided to speak doesn't mean I don't come in peace. So don't you dare censor me or my thoughts. Submitting to the disrespect of this society has drained my visions of success. Right now, mental investment is what's best. To be continued, reprogramming in progress. Peace.
Oh, wow. Wow. Can't wait to hear the whole thing. I love that name. I love the name of that poem. To forget. Like
Forgot
that,
to forget. Yep.
Forgot to forget. That is amazing. I love that name.
Thank you. That's like one of my favorite ones. Like that took me a little while to write, but once it was done, I was like, and then the feedback I'm getting from it, when I say at the end, that I'm gonna come back like, but I thought about doing a part 2 to it, but I don't want to bother it too much. You know how sometimes there's a good movie and then they do a sequel to the movie and you be like, oh, yeah, trash.
Well, I said it. I say write it anyway, because you can decide whether it's trash or not, whether to put it out. At least you did it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
So
that's true. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll sit on that. You know, or you could write the second part.
Yeah, I can do that. I got a couple part 2s I need to work on, but yeah, I can do that.
Yep. I'll record the entire thing and send it to you, and then you can put something to it.
Okay, I can do that.
Challenge.
I love a challenge. I love
a challenge too. That's how we get things done. For real. So D.L Mack, you got anything else you want to share with me?
Let's see here. The only thing I got to really share is, on my YouTube channel, every week at 1 p.m. new video, and I'm not stopping. So I'm trying to do it a complete year like this. That's the goal, with no breaks. Just keep putting out videos. So, and then hopefully a new book coming. In the works, getting that finished, and that's about it for right now. And probably gonna start getting back into photography as well. So
yeah, stay consistent. Keep pushing.
And that's one thing I learned too. Is like, I think for me as an artist, is like perfection, trying to be perfect and making sure everything's so perfect for people. It's like you either can be perfect or you can progress. Because one thing I've learned too is like, okay, if you're sitting there trying to be perfect, you'll never get it out. And it's one thing to to just keep progressing and slowly get better than try to be perfect, because you're probably going to get one thing out of trying to be perfect, and you can get like at least 50 out of just trying to progress.
Absolutely.
And then one thing I was also afraid of too is like, and I want other artists to know this as well, is like we get to a place where we always want to, we want to hold our poetry. But I remember someone saying this: poetry is the only medium where you have to give everything for someone to buy it or for someone to pay attention to it. So people are like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to put my work because it's going on my book. They're not gonna read it or they're not gonna see it unless you put it out there first. So I'm literally thinking about putting all of my poems from this book on YouTube and saying, stop worrying about trying to sell it and just put all of it out there. That way, you already know what's in the book. If you want the book, you'll go get it. Because a lot of poets I've seen like that have blown up and got bigger. They put a lot of the bigger poems out, and then yes, they have smaller stuff. But they have to have something out there for you to want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I had to listen to at least 2 or 3 or 4 of your poems to be like, I'm gonna buy this book. Now I'm one of the weird poets who will buy every poetry book I can find. But a lot of people aren't like that. You got to give them something first. You can't just think that okay, because I have a book, you're gonna go buy my book. That's not how that's gonna work. You got to put the work in first.
And that slows down your progress per se, because if you're sitting on this book and you're waiting for people to buy it, it's like you're not focused on more work, because there's where that book came from. There's so much more in you that you got to give. So just keep on. You just got to keep on pushing the work out there, and eventually people will catch up. And by the time they catch up, you won't be like, oh, okay, that was 5 years ago. But here goes some more stuff I got for you. So yeah, keep it going. In the documentary, I heard you say you wrote a documentary, right?
Yeah, I did a documentary. It was for a like a preschool, actually. I did a documentary for a church. They have a preschool under their church, and did a documentary several years ago for them. Someone just asked me to do it, and I was like, they were like, you got a camera? Can you do a documentary? And I'm like, I never did one, but I can try. And did a documentary. I thought it was successful. I've written scripts and things like that. I did a film, never put it out. I might put it out at some point, but I've never put it out. I had a reason for that, but I might put it out now. Things have changed, times change, so I may put it out. Just trying to find new ways to stay creative, and I want to make my son proud. So it's like I'd do anything to do that. So
yeah, how old is he?
He just turned 1.
Oh,
yeah, he just turned 1. Yep. So it's like that. That's been my motivation. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know I was gonna start having a cough breakdown talking to you.
It's fun. It's fun. Hey.
I got tea, and I'm thinking this tea was going to help, because usually I just drink water, but it's not helping. But yeah, I do appreciate you getting on the call with me, and we will look out for your book. I'm going to put that information in the links and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything else you want to share before we go?
No, that's it. That's it. And I appreciate, you doing this with me. Wish you all the success. Like I said, I'm going to bring some poetry your way. So you can reach out to them as well. And, just keep it going.
I sure will. Just because you told me to. I'm going to keep it going. Keep it moving. Thank you, D.L Mack.
All right. You have a good one.
Love. Peace. You too.
Peace.
Bye-bye.